Welcome to the Intermittent Gentleman, and today I'm doing a follow-up video on the SE4 in S35VN steel. I got a chance last weekend to go out for a one-night camping trip, and the SE4 was the only knife that I took with me. I did some basic woodworking. Now, trust me, I am no bushcrafter by any means, but just some simple carving, sharpening sticks to a point, some light batoning, some light chopping. Attempted to delimb a branch. We'll talk more about that. Let's go ahead and roll in some of that footage. So now that we're back from the footage of the trip, what are my thoughts? I would say that the SE4 is still a great size knife for your regular camp use companion knife. The S35 held up really well. It's still very sharp and no chipping along the blade, no rollover points. Definitely a good grind and factory edge coming out of the Esee shop there. I did put a 90-degree spine on the knife. It's not my best grind, but it does function. It does throw sparks pretty well. My biggest complaint after using the knife is going to be the grips here. So I did purchase the SE4 with the contoured G10, and I have to say they're probably my least favorite part of the knife. So even though in a hammer grip I can get a full 4 fingers around the handle, I still wish there was just about a 1/4 inch more on the back here. On a pinch grip, I feel like the knife doesn't find its way into my hand the best way. It just doesn't know where to sit. Additionally, if you want to choke back a little bit, I know the knife isn't the size to use for this, but if you were going to do light chopping, and I found this when trying to delimb a branch, the Contour G10 really favors more grip or more grip strength to the front end of the front half of the grip here. So choking back, I just didn't feel like I had the right geometry, even with a lanyard attached, to really get a good pivot for any even like light chopping motion. So to help with that problem, I purchased these. And these are the SE4 extended scales from the Knife Connection. And I went with the same color motif as I did on the factory Contour G10 scales. Let's go ahead and swap these out and see what a difference it may make. But before we do that, I just want to get a picture or a close-up of what that contouring looks like for you all. So when we put the Knife Connection scales on, we can kind of compare and contrast. Now that we're back with the Knife Connection scales installed, let's take a look. The fit and finish is fantastic. So everything really matching up. The seams there. No hot spots so far that I can feel. Everything in good alignment there. And you can see in this hammer grip, I can still get all 4 fingers on, just like I could with the OEM scales, but back here in the palm, I feel like I have a little bit more of a secure grip there. Additionally, if I did want to choke back with a lanyard to do maybe some light chopping tasks, I now feel like there's definitely a better fulcrum for that action. In a pinch grip, I feel like the handle is more better locked in. Now that we're back with the Knife Connection scales installed, let's take a look. So you can see that fit and finish is really good. So all of the seams really matching up there. No raised. Alignment, fitment, all great. So done really well. In the hammer grip, you can also see that just like before, I'm still getting all 4 fingers on the blade, but back here, I feel like I have a little bit more handle, a little bit more purchase, and just adds overall to a better feeling in the hand. Additionally, if I wanted to choke back here with a lanyard, of course, and do some light chopping, I really feel like now I have a better fulcrum than I did with the factory scales. In a pinch grip, the scales are definitely feeling more comfortable. They're fitting into the palm of my hand a little bit better than the OEM scales. Let's take a look at the contour of these scales. So you can see that the Knife Connection extended scales definitely still have some contouring there, but it's not as abrupt as what was on the factory scales. It's a good medium between the slab micarta scales that Esee does and the fully contoured G10 that they do. So after some of the wood processing you saw on camera, as well as some other batoning and camp chores that I didn't capture on film, let's see how this S35VN's edge retention has held up. Now, I haven't done anything to the blade. I haven't stropped it. I haven't sharpened any dull spots. All I did was clean it up a bit. So let's see if it still cuts. Definitely still serviceably sharp. On that cut through the belly, there might be some micro chips there, or definitely a dull spot. I could feel it as I was making that cut. But the plan is to not sharpen this knife, and now that it's getting warmer here, take it out on some more adventures and really put that S35VN to the test and see how long will it hold up, as well as see if some of the opportunities I cited with the factory grips are fixed with the Knife Connection scales. Now, one additional note to the Knife Connection scales is that according to their website, they should continue to work with the factory sheath. Even though they may be a little bit of a different contour throughout the scale, kind of this section up should be very similar or similar enough to the factory scales to allow the factory sheath to still function with this aftermarket add-on. But in my example, I have the sheath here. It is a really, really tight fit and very tough using the thumb ramp to break that retention and deploy the knife. So it's an overly tight fit compared to what we had with the factory scales. But I think what I might do is right in here is the retention that holds on to kind of like the finger guard or the ricasso here, if you will. On both sides, these little dimples, these raised dimples, is what gives the sheath its retention. And I might just take some sandpaper and polish that out a little bit, remove a little bit of material to see if that will fix things with the sheath. Thanks for tuning in. Click like and subscribe for more content and videos, and check me out on Instagram. And as always, stay a gentleman. Intermittently, of course.